The RPA Today Show, hosted by Rob Howes and Wilton Rogers. The show that brings you the latest insights on RPA, robotic process automation, and how it's impacting every industry, as well as interviews with companies that are currently winning big with this technology. You'll also hear from other industry leaders and experts who will be sharing some of their success secrets to help you become more productive and to grow your business. This show is brought to you by Simply Automate, where we help you get more done in less time and more ease for your mind with strategic business automation. Learn more at www.simplyautomateinc.com, and please follow us on LinkedIn. If anything in this show resonates with you, please let us know by leaving a review. The RPA Today Show, where you just might learn something you didn't know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the RPA Show. I'm your host, Rob Howes, my co-host, Wilton Rogers, the automation guy. We're here again with another special guest to enlighten you, educate you, give you some information that's going to allow you to do better in life and better in business. Easier, faster, better, smoother. Any other good words, Wilton, you got? Any more positive words we can throw out there?
Better, I don't know. They'll come up later on. But amazing.
Amazing is a good one. Amazing. It's always amazing when you can get more done in less time. I thought that's always great. It's always great. We got a guest today. We always have guests that are full of insight and wisdom. We have Joe Riccie here today. He's an advisory partner with Withum, and he's going to share not just what he does, but then maybe the things he's sharing, you can learn how you can apply for what you're doing. Because the goal is to get educated so you can automate it. So that's what this show is doing. Wilton, am I on the right path? Is that what we're trying to do? Educate so you can automate? That is the goal.
That is the goal. And the great thing about it is when you meet people like Joe that already has a vision of what the capabilities are, it's just fun to talk to him. I was on his podcast, I think last month, and we had a couple of weeks ago, I think, and it was just a great time because you could already see the knowledge and the vision that he had going into it. Is like, these are the people that we like to work with and like to talk to, because they give us a lot of information that we can take not only for us internally, that we could share with our clients. And we've already shared some stuff like that he's already shared with us. So this is going to be exciting. Yeah,
it's going to be great. Joe is a market leader and advisory partner who works with all management levels to solve operational challenges using modern and innovative solutions and services. The word is innovate. That's going to come up a lot. It's key that we understand this word, ladies and gentlemen. So what are your thoughts on robotic process automation? And Joe says this: necessary, supports doing more with less, thinking overall, fuels modernization and innovation to help people rethink how work gets done. Joe, welcome to the show.
Wow, Rob. Well, I think I'm going to sit back and listen. I mean, you got me all wrapped up here. You got me all excited. Thank you for having me.
We're excited. We're always excited when we get around smart people, because then we get smarter. And when you get smarter and take action, life gets better. I mean, I'm sticking to that. I'm sticking to it.
I don't know, smart. Seasoned, yeah. But
seasoned. Good seasoning, brother. Good seasoning. So Joe, tell us a little bit about you, like what you do and why you do what you do. We're going to go deep into some other elements, but tell us about Joe and what you do and why you do what you do.
Yeah, great. Thanks for that. So, I'm a CPA by education, and thought when I came out of school that I should be that CFO, right? And I did. I worked in private industry, and I got involved with a technology project in the late 70s, early 80s. So right there, you should kind of figure out how old this guy is, all right? So did a technology project. It was an ERP, okay? And if you're not familiar with that, that's enterprise resource planning. I'm going to give you a little bit more around what that all means. But I got involved with that project, and I thought it was very cool. It really changed how I thought CPAs should think and act. So I did a little quick research, not many CPAs were connected with technology. Way back when, they go to IT or MIS or, and work with them to solve technology problems. And I said, I really don't need them. I'd much rather do it myself. And so that my technology and automation journey started way back when. So, right. So then I left for one of the big four. Okay. Helped them grow up technology practices. I was probably their oldest senior consultant they ever hired. And it was great. I learned a hell of a lot. And ultimately, I did land here at Withum, Smith and Brown. It's a professional services firm, providing advisory, and they have audit, tax, specialized services, things like wealth management, insurance. But I came here about 6 years ago to start an advisory practice. And I'm employee number one on the advisory side. And 6+ years later, we're over 200 employees.
Wow.
Yes. So that's very exciting.
That's exciting.
Real exciting.
It is. Now, it's not all due to me. I work with a lot of talented people. There's a key shareholder at Withum, Jim Burke. He's renowned in the marketplace. Okay. He and I saw eye to eye on everything. So I came here to start advisory, really management consulting services. And ever since then, we've just been helping companies really do two things: grow the top line, grow the bottom line. That's it. Okay.
Grow
So
top
think
line,
about
grow
that.
bottom
Yep.
line. Yeah.
Yep. Now, along the way, let's try to make this a little exciting, because not everybody gets excited about accounting systems, ERP systems, right? Unless you see how you can modernize. And going to use your word, Rob, how do we innovate? Right? So
Yep.
that's
Wow.
me.
Good stuff. And Wilton, you had a nice podcast interview. You guys had a great conversation recently, and I know you had some things to share. I'm sure you've learned a little bit as well in the short time you've spent with Joe.
I have, like I said, some of the information that I've shared, even before our podcast, we've had a couple conversations, off camera, I guess you could say. And the information he shared, I've actually shared with our team and shared with some of our clients, saying, just different routes they wanted to go as far as using their ERP system, whether it's, automating a certain way, just our conversations that we had, just triggered other conversations that I had with other clients, and we're able to do certain things. So, like I said, just having conversations with individuals like Joe that have that know technology and know innovation and automation, you can learn a lot, and you can implement just off a conversation, and that's exactly what we do. So, I every time I see Joe's email pop up or something like that, I'm already, I pop it open right away, because I know I'm going to grab something from there, and I'm going to take it with me. So, it's always good to surround yourself with people like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always growing in the knowing. Joe, what would you say the biggest problem that you solve is? What's the biggest problem that you solve?
Education. Okay. We rescue so many projects here, right? That just don't start to work with them. Okay. And we're rescuing so many people because, they weren't well informed or educated and really understood what they were getting themselves into. Okay. And I know what it was meant to be on the other side. And I credit some of my success because of that. Right. I would always convey to people, consultants just generally have a bad reputation in the marketplace because there are others who cause that reputation. But you work with us, you're going to find out we're practical business people. In fact, there's many times we talk people out of projects. All right, not to spend the money, because we wouldn't spend the money. Right.
Good.
So to me, it's all about education and letting them know what is possible. What's the art of the possible? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, Wilton? We talked about that.
I am so glad you brought that up. Education, when you said education, it's so important, because I think so many people, especially now, are misinformed. it's because they haven't been educated the right way, or they haven't had the right resources to understand what needs to be done. And that has been one thing that we've done, is that we've helped recover quite a few companies that were misguided, right? They didn't have the right education, and almost gave up because they saw that this is just a fluke, and it's not, this is not real, and it's not going to help us out. But it was the way that we're approached. It was the way they were educated, and the information that was shared with them. So I think that, making sure that you understand that the clients you're working with have to be educated is going to be important, but it's also important for people that are looking to transition to a technology like an RPA, that they have the right resources to get the education. That way they don't have to go down a rabbit hole that's going to take forever to dig themselves out of. And so education by far is number one. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's big. That is big. Tell me this, Joe. Give me your thoughts on RPA. What are your thoughts on robotic process automation? Just the first thoughts that come to you. But your experience, what you know, what are your thoughts?
I always knew it existed for many years, but I always felt it was at the enterprise global level. Okay. And that came with a certain investment. Okay. Many of the clients I work with, right? I have my global companies. I remember working on an ERP project, working on 5 continents. Okay. Huge media company.
Mm-hmm.
And that was rewarding to work with different international cultures.
Yeah.
More days than not, I'm working with private family-run companies. I'm working with your mid-sized companies, right? And when I met Wilton, and when we had our off-camera type conversations, right, I was suspect about the affordability, okay, for RPA, for the marketplace that we're serving. Mm-hmm. Very quickly, Wilton and his team described to me, no, Joe, it's really come down market. It is affordable, okay? And I think that's one of the key things to educate people today, right? And what is an enterprise? You can be your own little enterprise, okay? I don't want to get hung up on labels. You're small, you're mid-size, right? The important fact here is RPA is affordable, okay? Mm-hmm. That's really key for this marketplace because people need it. They need to do more with less, okay?
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's so interesting. I know it was a post. I was just thinking that's a clip right there. When you were talking, what you just said is so important to hear that. We're going to play that again. You were going to hear it over and over again. So many people are on the fence. A lot of folks are on the fence about RPA and about these new type of, it's not really new, but new to them, these new technologies. And so it's always good to hear the perspective that can, kind of put the guards down a little bit. The key word, what you said, was educate. Educate so you can automate. Even if you're apprehensive, get educated so you can automate. What technology trends do you see that's on the horizon now?
Well, artificial intelligence, right? It's been out there quite some time too. But what's the applicability? Okay. And same thing with blockchain and distributed ledger, right? And what's behind that? And those things all need to mature and grow up, right? And the conversation I was having with Wilton the last time is intelligent process automation. Yeah. What's that? Is that a different tool?
Yeah.
Right. And we were saying, not really. It's RPA, right? But we want to be intelligent about the actions, right? That robot is going to execute for us. Okay. And so to me, I see that trend going to start to take more of a hold. Okay. And I think it's going to have to, right? If you look at the marketplace, with the great resignation, or whoever's going to describe why the labor force has left, right? Maybe they're starting to come back, but a lot left to be into our own little enterprises. Okay. Mm-hmm. And therefore, think about that community. How will you connect that community to serve enterprises need to be intelligent about it. Okay. All right. So to me, we're all in a digital marketplace. Those clients or companies who just refuse to go there, I feel bad for them. Okay. It could be because of education. It could be because of trust. Right. It could be because of dollars. But we just said it has become affordable. Okay.
Right.
We have trustworthy clients. Just talk to them. All right. And there's a way to dip your toe in the water, right, Wilton?
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, with more modern ERPs, Rob, okay, those platforms, right? That's your accounting platform, but it's more. Okay. When you operate on one platform, right, that's more modern. First of all, the cost to operate that is far less than the years in the past. Okay. So, but I'm still surprised today when I talk about cloud software to people, right? They're just trying to come around to it, all right, to understand it better. So modern software is on cloud platforms. Let's make sure our listeners understand that. Okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that Wilton and his team can still help them, right? If they're on a server-based solution, right? My team, we have an informed bias, is what I'll say, about cloud software. Okay. Because it marries up to modern, it marries up to innovation, it marries up to there's an app for that. Okay, not everything can be on that modern ERP platform. If I look at all our different customers, we're using different apps, or they're using different apps.
Right.
Okay, and so that's helping them to rethink how work gets done, quite frankly. Okay. Now, okay, how do you bring all this together? And I'm very fortunate with them because in my ERP and CRM team, now I can bring in my cybersecurity team. Now I wrap my cybersecurity around everything we're doing. And if we really want to get enhanced with our data and analytics, I bring in my digital team.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
So now I can bring in my Wilton team. Okay. Because of the software that they're using, right? In order to provide that affordability for RPA. So I hope I answered your question. I get excited about what is possible.
Okay? Oh, I love it. I love it. You're talking about it. You're talking about the root and lots of branches that are connected to it. So I like it.
And that's how things happen a lot faster when you have that, when you understand that, and being able to get these individuals or these groups to be able to be involved with this, the time for deployment, the time for completion is so much easier and faster, especially when you have someone that can guide them through the whole thing. And I think that's what's important. And you hit it earlier, is like, when I talked to you the first time, not very many people, even that knew RPA, knew it was available outside the large enterprise world, right? I was in the large enterprise world for a long time, so I knew, but I was like, how can we move it down? Because this is going to be a game changer. But then again, that came the educational part. Once we understood that we're down at this, now we're here, it's those parts that you're talking about now, having that subject matter expert, so to speak, even if it's an internal person, to sort of put all these pieces together so you can get the process done a lot faster. So, it's definitely a game changer. And I think for RPA where it is right now, in fact, I don't know if it was on your podcast, but it was around that time I saw the reports on over 2019, they did this report on how fast RPA was growing. And I remember seeing it in 2017 and then 2019, and then I was like, okay, it seems about right. The last couple of years, I was like, okay, that trend's it's going way faster than what the experts said. Just last month, Forrester came out with a new report that it's quadrupled compared to what it was reported prior, right? And the reason why is because those people that are starting to understand RPA are implementing it a lot faster and a lot more and a lot more. And now it's just like people listen, like you said earlier, the ones that are getting it, they need to get it. If they're not,
Mhm.
you feel sorry for them. Because if you feel sorry for them, honestly, and we said it before, they're going to be out of business.
Mm.
Eventually they're going to be out of business because they're not going to be able to keep up with technology, digital transformation. So they have to be part of that. And it could be money, it could be, it could be whatever it is, but they got to figure out a way to be involved, because if not, those doors will close, are slowly, even though I don't see it yet, but they're closing little by little. So anyway, I really didn't know I was going with that, but I just fed off what you were saying.
That's good. That's good.
No, that's all good, because I want to pick up on the word speed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and really two contexts. Speed to market with the RPA solution was what you were just describing, and the way it's accelerated its speed is because of the adoption.
Yeah.
Okay, adoption is what I praise to my clients to say, I'm going to change how you work. I need to teach your people how to use the tool, and we need to get them to adopt. And
Right.
everyone learns at a different pace. What's really exciting about what you just described is the speed of that adoption, okay, to the marketplace,
Right.
which is great, because that means that middle market coming down from enterprise, okay, it is grabbing hold. Now,
Mhm.
the other context to speed is speed to market for them. How quickly can you get it done for them?
Right.
All right. And when you and I talked about how quickly you could spin some of these things up and it remains stable, right? That aligned to what my team does, right? We can get an ERP up in 100 days.
Mhm.
Okay. It's going to be very specific. All right. But we have those cases where we can get it up in 100 days. All right. Because we have,
zero to cloud in 100 days.
yep, we can. And the reason I can do that is because at Withum, we probably serve 15 to 16 different industries. Okay. So I'm lucky. If I'm on the advisory side, okay, if I'm at a wholesale distribution company, I can go onto my audit side. All right. Get help from there. Okay. In terms of the industry and what we're seeing at those clients. Now, I worked at a distributor myself, right? But to have that constant knowledge, right, helps us to bring speed to the client. Okay. Now, we just need them to come along with that, that maybe that Mach 5, right? But we can do it, okay? Because it's really important to start using it, and it won't always be perfect, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You can get the job done, and we're going to show you how you can do more with less using these modern tools.
Mm.
Right. So speed matters.
Speed matters.
Yeah.
Speed
does
matters.
Yeah.
Speed and adoption, the speed of adoption, and then speed to market.
Yes. You got it, Rob. Okay. Those matter. And again, they have to work with trustworthy people who have been there and done that. Okay. Because it's not one and done, we leave you. Right. It's this relationship that both our organizations build with these clients. Wilton told me about how one company, tried to use the software and they took, I don't know, maybe 3 months, Wilton. I forget the exact days. And your guys came in, looked at it, fixed it in like a couple of weeks. Okay.
Yep.
So you earned their trust.
Right.
Okay. Trust really matters. Okay. Are we always perfect? No, but we'll fix it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And that's why they got to find the right partner.
Right.
In the marketplace, quite frankly.
That's good.
That's good. And you're absolutely right. I think that find that right partner is going to allow you to, first of all, that build that trust. When you start working with, and I told my clients too, is like, to build that trust, especially in this industry, everything out there's so much technology, it just floods their mind. They don't even know what automation is anymore. They don't even know. They think it's, they already know they think they already have automation. But once you service them and say, listen, I'm going to present this to you just so you can see it, and not really even charge them but their time, You know what I mean? And being able to say, you know what, just give me your time. That's what you want to invest in, so we can show you. Once they see it and see that, like you said, the speed of it and the productivity, the trust starts coming, because now they say, okay, they did it for us. And that opens up the door to a lot. And I think for us is to make sure that, yeah, you got to trust us, but you got to give us the opportunity to trust, right? So give us the opportunity to sort of do something for you first. So what is your approach with clients that you come to and say, you know what, we can help you, and they're in that trust phase? What is, how do you go about getting that trust from them?
Well, we're always straightforward, and maybe to a fault. Okay. We'll look at, who's on the team. Okay. And we'll
Mhm.
try to, understand, what is their capacity? What's their education? Here we go. There's my education again. Okay. Because not everyone has been fortunate like you and I to grow up, right, in the consulting world, to get exposed to many different looks, experiences, industries, right? So to us, it's it's just another day, but for others, it's traumatic. Okay. And so to gain that trust, well, I'll explain to them. I said, I think these things could happen. I've seen them happen. So will they happen here? All right. Um, and if we look at some of the team members, they're intelligent, but they haven't gone through this. Right. And therefore, it's really tailoring how to work with them. I feel sometimes the word tailor gets overused by other consultants, but really, if you're working with your client, you should be able to understand them as best you can and tailor how we can help them to be successful.
Absolutely.
Now, my speed might get slowed down, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's not going to do them any good if I go fast,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they don't stay, in the check rounds with us. Okay.
Slow down the speed.
Right. So we will adapt. And I think that's what consulting is. You got to adapt. You got to understand the people that you're working with. Okay.
That's good, Joe. Wow. Thank you. Joe, give us your final words of wisdom. What can you give? As a matter of fact, when you say this, when you give this last thought, think about the business owner. Think about the person in business who runs the business, no matter what level it is, but they're running a business or they're helping to run business. What's the thought that you can give them as somebody who understands business and understands technology and understands a few more things? What's something that you would just give to someone as a word of wisdom?
Start small. Start with your comfort and confidence. Okay. And that is for them to learn to work with us, right? I will always say that when I meet someone new. I don't need to sell you this big project. Here's our thoughts about how we can do it, but let's start small. Okay? I have clients with me from the last 25, 30 years. And that's how I started with them, small. Okay?
That's good.
All right. Let's do it together. Let's win together. Let's fail together. Let's learn from it. Fix the next one. Okay. Today, my referrals come from my other clients. They'll leave and they go on boards and they said, hey, if you're doing this ERP, you should be talking to Joe. I'm telling you, this guy, what he did for, and so on and so forth. Right. But we started small. Okay. See how it works. And if it doesn't work for them, okay, we move on. But I'm very doubtful that it would not work, quite frankly. Okay.
Well said.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to Joe. Start small. Get your foot in the door, get a better understanding, and then from that point, you'll be able to figure out how big you could go from that point on. So it happens every time. So Joe, before we go, if people do want to work with you, or want more information about what you do, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, again, gee, I wasn't ready for that commercial, Wilton. Sorry. I mean, my email address is JRICCIE@WITHUM.com, right? But clearly they can reach out to you or Rob and say, hey, who is that crazy guy talking to you about ERP, right? Um, and I'm passionate because I've been in this business for 40 years, okay? And
Yeah.
been working on technology and trying to teach others,
Hmm.
right? And I think that's my next job once I retire in the future is teaching, right? I
That's
love to teach people to show them what is possible.
I love it,
you
man.
you and me are talking the same language, Joe.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put all your contact information in the show notes. You can definitely contact us. But those that are listening tonight or today, wherever in the morning, wherever you are, um, if you really want to know more, just a conversation about just technology yourself. Trying to tell you, reach out to Joe, send him an email, send him a chat, whatever you need to do, find him on LinkedIn, whatever you need to do, because he is just a book of knowledge. And every time I talk to you, it's always fun and it's always an honor. So definitely thank you for for being on our podcast today, Joe. I know we're gonna be talking off camera pretty soon anyway, but I definitely want to stay on camera back and forth. So we're definitely gonna invite you back. Hopefully after we can maybe work on a few projects and we can come back and come up with some some good data to share with the smaller businesses and what you have done and what we have done and what I've done and go from there. So.
Thank you. I think that's what we need to do. Show me. Okay. Well, let's show people. All right.
That's
That's
it.
right.
What does it mean to work with us? And quite frankly, if I don't have an answer, because I might come across as, I know everything. I don't. I'm surrounded by a lot of talented people. Okay.
Yeah.
I really am. And so if I don't know it, I probably know someone who will know it. And I
Right.
connect those to other people. Right.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think we're the same. We're in the same boat. I may be the mouth, but I'm definitely not the brains of our company, right? So good. Have a heck of a staff that supports us to make us at least be able to do what we do. So
Yes, very much so.
That's what Henry Ford did. He got the smart folks around him, had the automation set up, and before you know it, the middle class was born. Ladies and gentlemen, technology used the right way can change your day. Thanks for listening to the show, the RPA Show, where you just might learn something you didn't know. Until next time.